An 8 seed? Louisville got an 8 seed in the national tournament. That is asinine. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Bryce Gares here with all things the Ville, talking about Louisville basketball going into the NCAA tournament this year as an 8 seed, which means that they are, in the bracket that they are in, that means that they would be a top 32 team. But they finished 13th in the entire country in the final AP top 25 poll. And even more crazy, they beat Clemson 2 times throughout the season, one time just last week. And Clemson got a 5 seed! That makes no sense. They beat Clemson without Rain Smith, and still Clemson got a better seed overall than Louisville did. That makes no sense. The NCAA is obviously out to get the University of Louisville for some reason now. I don't understand it. An 8 seed in the first round playing 9 seed Creighton? Look, if you're gonna win a national championship, which I don't think Louisville can, right? Because even if they win the first game, now they got to play Auburn. I mean, it's not in the cards for the cards this year. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that it can't be next year or any years after that, but this year it's not. But wow, what a draw for the Louisville Cardinals. Look, I understand that the ACC wasn't all that great this year. I understand it. I get it that there's strength of schedule involved and all that good stuff. I understand that. But heck, Duke's in, Clemson's in, North Carolina's in as an 11 seed. By the way, side note, does anybody else find it a little suspicious that the chairman of the NCAA tournament committee just so happens to be North Carolina's athletic director, and North Carolina gets in the tournament when they have no ungodly reason being in? But hey, it's good for Louisville. There's 4 ACC teams in the tournament this year. But Louisville's an 8 seed. Have you all seen this list? That's like every top 13 team in the nation, here's their seed over the past few years, and it's like 3 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed, 3 seed, 3 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed. And then Louisville just so happens to get an 8 out of nowhere. Makes 0 sense. Again, I'll sit here and tell you, Louisville is not a national championship team. They're not a Final Four team, although they could certainly get there because anything can happen in the month of March. Anything can happen. I don't think they are that caliber of team. But you can't deny that through all the adversity that they have had, that they have overachieved, and then you cannot deny that Louisville, unlike a lot of other teams like Kentucky, like Oklahoma, like UConn, like so many other teams, like you can't deny that Louisville has actually gotten better throughout the course of the season. As a team, they have gotten better every step of the way. If Louisville and Kentucky played right now, I guarantee you Louisville wins that game. Don't care where it's played at. If it's played at Rupp, I guarantee you right now, Louisville beats UK in Rupp if they played that game right now. Because Louisville has gotten better this year. They really have. Then there's also this side of things in the tournament, where Louisville is an 8 seed, and then there are teams like Ole Miss. Granted, Ole Miss beat the crap out of them earlier in the year, but again, Louisville's gotten better. But there are multiple teams. When I was watching the selection show yesterday, Ole Miss is just the first one that pops in my head as I'm ranting at the moment, that are not in the top 25 and still have better seeds than Louisville. I think Ole Miss is a 6, and they have a better seed than Louisville. Ole Miss isn't ranked. Louisville, if Louisville is going to be in the AP top 15, why are you giving better seeds to teams that are not even ranked? And then, again, you factor in strength of schedule and all that stuff. Like, okay, then make them a top 15 team then. If it's gonna come down to having a better seed in the tournament, just make them a top 15 team instead of Louisville. If that's what it's gonna be, it makes no sense. And of course, I know you try to get storylines, you try to get people in the right locations for fans and all this stuff. I get it, I understand it. And then Louisville's playing in Lexington. I understand it. But it just still makes no sense. You're raw dogging Louisville right now, just trying to punish them. If they beat Creighton in the very first round, who just played in the Big East Championship, as a 2 seed in the Big East. You got to play Auburn next. And again, if you're going to win a national championship, you're going to have to beat good teams. Who cares about your seed? Who cares about who you play? If you're going to win a national championship, you got to play. How many games is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4 championship. If you want to win a national championship, you got to win 6 games against 6 really good teams. There's not a bad team in the NCAA tournament this year. Like, sometimes you get a Cinderella. I don't know if there's any Cinderellas really this year as far as, like, teams who theoretically shouldn't be in the tournament. Everybody who is in the tournament should be in the tournament. This is probably the best NCAA tournament that I've ever seen in my life. I filled out like 7 brackets. I have Duke winning it all, by the way. Wink, wink. I said Duke was going to win it back in October, so let's see if that checks out. I put it out there into the world last October. I said Duke is my pick to win the national championship. I saw them play against Arizona State. I saw them beat them by 40, and I was like, wow. That's a really good basketball team. I don't know who's going to beat them. Clemson did. At Clemson. Kentucky did. Still don't think Kentucky should have won that game. That was just like freshman mistakes by Duke's freshmen, who have gotten significantly better as well throughout the course of the season. But yeah, one of the best tournament fields I have ever seen. Every team could win. You know who my Cinderella is? You know who my Cinderella is this year? UC San Diego. That is my team this year as a Cinderella. I have UC San Diego in my Sweet 16 and in an Elite 8 in a couple of my brackets. I watched them play a couple weeks ago. Holy cow, that team is really good. White boys, and they're good. Be prepared for UC San Diego to take off. But we're talking about the cards right now, man. Going against Creighton in Lexington on Thursday, first game of the NCAA tournament. Can they do it? They can. They can beat Creighton. Will they? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Rain Smith is going to be healthy. Well, healthy, right? Rain Smith is going to play. Because at this point, it's theoretically your last college basketball game ever. If you don't play, you're not a nice word. I'm not going to say it on here. If you don't play, you're soft. So Rain Smith will play. And that's going to help things out dramatically. There's also a dude from Creighton who turned his ankle pretty bad in the Big East championship game, I believe, or the semifinal game. I don't think he played in the championship game after that. So they're down a man as well. But Creighton's pretty good. They've got size. They've got shooting. They've got some decent athletes on their team. They're very comparable to Louisville, quite honestly. It's going to be a great opening round game for the NCAA tournament. It's going to go down to the wire. I don't know who's going to win. I hope it's Louisville, but everything in me says Creighton at the moment. We shall see. We shall see. But let's talk about Louisville's run this year, man. Again, adversity after adversity after adversity, overcoming it time and time again. Then you get Rain Smith, who gets hurt in the last 2 games of the regular season. Doesn't play any in the conference tournament, which I was totally on board with. Win 2 games. One against the 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, who apparently is better than Louisville, but Louisville again beats them. I'm not going to continue on that anymore. But they beat him without Rain Smith and then lose to Duke, who, like, again, Duke's the best. I'm sorry. You're just not going to beat Duke. Yeah. But what a run for Louisville this year, man. Pat Kelsey deserves everything, man. He turned this program around in 9 months. The team is playing great. They look like they like each other. The fans are involved. I hope there is a flood of red in Lexington this week. I'm sure there will be, but tickets ain't cheap. Let me tell you that. I thought about going. I looked at the prices and was like, I don't get paid enough for that. So, not going. Will be watching with a big order of Chinese takeout, and I'm going to sit on the couch and veg out for the entirety of the weekend. So we'll see what happens, man. But Louisville, what a tough draw, man. What a tough draw. Fingers crossed they win. I don't think they make it past the second round this year, though. Tell me what you think.